Let's see what this thing can do. Hey guys, today's a very special day. We're gonna go pick up a new car, and it's not just any car. This car is a 1 of 1,000 limited edition. They've only made this edition 3 times before in the past, and the previous version is something we drove this past summer, and probably was my favorite car that I drove the whole summer. So we're gonna go to the dealership. We've tried to pick this car up already 4 or 5 times, and every time we try to go pick it up, there ends up being a snowstorm or something, and this is definitely not the car you want to drive in the snow. So honestly, it is a nice enough day to drive the GT4 today there, but unfortunately, whatever I drive, I'm gonna have to leave parked outside for a little bit, so I think we're gonna take the Volvo. Okay, so not to give anything away, but the previous version of this car was one of the most raw driving experiences I've ever felt, which is gonna make it tougher for the new version of the car to kind of live up to the expectations, because new cars don't tend to be that raw or that great of a driving experience. It's more about performance. So I'm not gonna lie, my expectations aren't through the roof with this car of how it's gonna drive, but it is a very rare 1 of 1,000 ever made, one of, I believe, 41 in Canada, and we're actually gonna have another one join us on the delivery day. But yeah, I'm super excited. I've been waiting for this car for probably close to a year to really see if it can compare to the previous version, which is one of my favorite cars now. It is early March in Canada, which means it's not going to be an ideal circumstance to actually be pushing the car and really seeing what it can do. We will be driving the car today, so I will get my initial thoughts. But as soon as the weather gets warmer, I'm going to take this car out along with the older version of it and compare them properly. But don't worry, today we're still going to get the first drive of this car. Now, before we get to the dealership, I do want to remind you guys to subscribe, because this probably won't be the only car we pick up this summer. I think we have plans for a GT4 RS in Germany this summer. Just a ton of car content, and weather's about to start picking up. We're gonna have consistent good weather, so a lot more consistent content than there has been for the last few months. But yeah, make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. But yeah, let's go pick up this car. So it's not this 8 Series right here that we're picking up, but it is a BMW, as you can tell by where we are. But weird thing is, this is an M car section, but the only actual M car here is this used M2. Everything else, I guess, is just an M package or something like that. But the car we are picking up not only is a real M, but it's probably the best and most expensive real M they currently sell. So it's finally time to see what car we're here to pick up, and it is right behind us. Here it is. If you can't see, it is the BMW M4 CSL. So the lighting here is not great. We are going to pull it out soon. But like I said, my favorite car that I drove this whole summer of 2022 was probably the E46 M3 CSL. So finally we're going to get to test the new version of the car, the M4 CSL. This car is so aggressive. There's so much carbon on it. It runs on Cup 2Rs. You can see the carbon fiber on the hood. The grille looks a lot more aggressive. You have all these red accents right here, carbon fiber mirrors. Let's look at the inside. Of course, has carbon fiber bucket seats, this aggressive Alcantara steering wheel with the carbon in it, carbon in the center console. They even take out the compartment right here to save weight. As you can see, there's only 20 kilometers on the car. So today we're gonna get the chance to drive it. Of course, carbon fiber roof. These CSLs have this super aggressive ducktail in the back. This thing looks incredible. Okay, so before the startup, we're gonna peel some plastics. But let's see how this thing sounds. It's not cold, unfortunately, but let's see. Still sounds pretty freaking good. This interior is very, very nice, very aggressive. The seats are super hard. I didn't expect that. But yeah, let's pull this car out, and we have the other M4 CSL actually right outside. And we are driving the CSL. Oh, just as we're about to go outside, they're about to block my way. So here we go, and we are outside in the M4 CSL, and right there is the other M4 CSL. We're gonna get these two together for a shoot, drive together with them. It's gonna look pretty cool. So we're now outside with the cars, both CSLs. This one in the frozen gray. Looks very, very cool. You can really tell the details of this car a lot more with this color because of the contrast. This one has been put on Michelin 4Ss, which is the same thing I run on my GT4, so it's a lot more usable every day. I knew that it's supposed to come on Cup 2s. I didn't realize it's going to be Cup 2Rs. So this is definitely a car you want to wait for warm weather to drive, but today we are going to drive it. Very cool to see the difference between a gray and a black car. They look so good together. So only 41 in Canada. Out of those 41, 2 are here right now, 1,000 made. Very cool. I think most of them are actually in that gray color. Very few are in the black or white. But man, these things look so aggressive. So much more aggressive than a regular M4. Interior, exterior, everywhere. The wheel design is so cool. But yeah, I think now Nathaniel's gonna take some photos and we're gonna go drive these two and see what they're like. And we're on the road in the CSL. I think I actually put it into manual mode, so I'm gonna have to shift. And we're following actually the gray CSL. So today was my first time seeing one of these in general, and it's nice that I'm driving one while looking at one too. Very, very cool. This one doesn't have a dual clutch or anything. It's, I believe, a ZF Auto, I think, 8-speed. But honestly, it feels pretty responsive so far. I'm not pushing it or anything. It's cold outside and the car only has 20 kilometers on it. So, you know, we got to take it a little easy for the first little while. But man, everything here looks and feels very, very special, very high quality. I'm pretty impressed with this so far. Brand new car, got to make sure we don't scrape. And we are good. Now we got to find where to take some good photos of the two cars. But man, these cars are actually so rare. I've never seen an M4 CSL, and I guess they came out and started getting delivered right as winter was coming. So in Canada, nobody that really bought them was driving them too much, even though the one in front of us does have 2,000 kilometers on it already. But yeah, this is my first chance to see one. I had to do some research on it before because honestly, I didn't really know too much about them until a few days ago. But man, I was just excited because this car carries the name of one of my favorite cars, which is the M3 CSL, even though I'm not a big BMW guy. And you know, it's definitely a very different car than the E46. I'll do a full review, like I said, in the summer or when the weather gets a little bit better. But it is very cool to be in the successor of that car, a car that carries such an iconic name. And it's just such a rare car, such a good looking, aggressive car. With nowadays, a lot of times when a rare version of a car like an M4 comes out, it's not as rare as we'd like it to be. This one definitely is. Can't wait to actually get to explore this car more in the summer. There's so much like to this car that I'm honestly not really going to start playing with today. I mean, there's so many different options, so many different modes. There's just so much to play with different M modes and everything. But honestly, just today, the weather is not really permitting. There's still a ton of snow in Canada. It's freezing cold here still. Cup 2Rs, it's not an ideal situation. The car's not broken in yet. I think we're probably at like 30 kilometers on the clock. So today we're just kind of driving it from the dealership, just do some photos and to drop it off to get PPF'd. But in the summer, I'm definitely going to be driving this thing a lot. I really want to explore, spend at least, you know, a few days driving it, put a few hundred kilometers on it, and really see what this thing is all about. And when we do that, I'm going to compare it to the M3 CSL to really see if this thing should be called the CSL or if it's just another hardcore M4 that they want to use the name to, you know, market it a little bit better. The one cool thing though that even the CSL, the E46 didn't have, which this one does, is there's no rear seat. So the rear seat delete to save some weight, which kind of gives me high hopes that this car was made with a purpose and it wasn't just made as a marketing scheme. So I really can't wait till the weather permits and I can, you know, properly push this car. Right now we're just heading back to drop Nathaniel off at the dealership where his car is. So in front of the 3 Series here, we have the other CSL, as you see. Okay, I honestly haven't had any seat time behind any newish, modernish BMW. So I ideally like my comfort as uncomfortable as possible. I'm trying to figure out how exactly I change those settings. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna play around with it a little bit and get to that before we get on the highway. Okay, so I figured out how to do the settings. I put the engine to sport, not sport plus, because honestly the car's not broken in yet. I don't want to go too crazy. But chassis, I did put it to sport plus. I like being uncomfortable in a car. It's really weird, but it's true. Steering, I'll put it to sport plus, to sport, I guess, and braking to sport. I've never seen a car that has different braking options. So yeah, like these BMWs are just notorious for having all these million different ways to set them up. So I guess this is gonna be the way we try it. We're almost on the highway, so once we get on the highway, holy crap, these brakes are stiff. Whoa. Okay, this car is super sensitive. I gotta really get used to it, but holy crap. Wow. So I gotta say, honestly, the car does feel as special as the E46 M3 CSL, and visually it probably looks more special than the M3 CSL. The M3 CSL almost looks exactly like the E46 M3, you know, the normal one. I think a regular person, even most car people, wouldn't be able to tell the difference. This one honestly looks the part, feels the part. Everything here feels very sporty. The seats are super aggressive. Like, it does feel like a special occasion when you're driving this car. We're gonna get on the highway now. I'm gonna push it a little bit again. It's not broken in yet. I'm not gonna push it a lot. So let's see if it actually drives like it, if it, you know, if the power feels like it, if it accelerates like it, sounds like it, everything. And then we'll know kind of what to compare it to. But again, we'll only really be able to know in the summer once we can really push it, let the car, you know, go to its full potential. But yeah, we're almost on the highway. I want to push it a little bit once we get on there and see what I think. Quick pull. Oh yeah. Feels pretty good. The power delivery is very, very, very instant. Okay, time to have a little bit of fun. Let's see what this thing can do. Oh. I mean, it's like, it feels like it's nothing. This car, and again, it doesn't sound as good as the E46. It doesn't, but this thing sounds great. It doesn't sound like, you know, like a smaller engine turbocharged. Like it sounds like a raw track car. It does have a lot of character. It's not really numb. It doesn't feel like it's all computers doing everything. So you do still get that kind of raw identity of the CSL name with this car. I do wish I would have driven a regular M4 to kind of know what to compare it to. I haven't driven, you know, I haven't driven the current generation, this generation, M4 before, and the only previous generation, M3 or M4 that I've driven was actually a GTS. So again, I haven't driven a regular version of an M3 or M4 since, I don't think I've even driven an E90, so I guess E46 would have been the last regular one that I've driven. But honestly, they didn't lose a character. I used to be more of an AMG guy, but I do think if you're looking for one of these cars, you're gonna get a lot more of a soul in, you know, in a car like an M4 and M3. I think they're a lot more driver focused, just a lot more fun, a lot more raw, less technology, less things interrupting you. It's definitely has more of a soul than an RS car. And honestly, this is not a dual clutch gearbox, but it feels great. It feels super quick, super responsive. Not really a lot of bad things to say about this car. Again, we're gonna have to probably test it out in the summer, but so far I really, really like it. So that's it. We're just dropping it off now to get the PPF done, and we'll probably see this car again when the weather gets a little bit nicer.